Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And we welcome you into a very special night, as always. Every year they do this, we do it with them. Florida and Florida State have come to town, and I love it when they get together. It's a great rivalry, Noles and Gators. Gators struggling a little bit after their struggles in Alabama. FSU off to a very good start, 18-4 on the year, 5-1 in their league. And but the two teams played earlier. Florida won the game. You know by now they play 3 times. Once in Gainesville, once in Tallahassee, and then once a year they're kind enough to come play here in Jacksonville. So we're happy to be here. Glad you're with us on a Nimnick Tuesday. I saw my buddy Billy Nimnick today, as a matter of fact. So always a Nimnick Tuesday on the program. Frangie, Hayes Carline on location. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. We got a lot of wind.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if this keeps up, how it affects the game.
And I did. It's going to be packed here tonight because it always is. I did ask Greg McGarity. I don't complain much. I'm not a complainer, Hayes. You probably know that. Other people complain. I don't. But yesterday was 80. Tomorrow it's going to be 75. It's kind of cold today. Just point that out. Okay.
It's been, I think.
I'm one that just tends to point stuff out.
Do you think this has been one of the weirdest 3-month stretches of weather that we've had in Jacksonville in a long, long time?
It really
It has been so bizarre.
Yeah.
And, and today is kind of the same thing, but there are already people in here, and, it'll be like you said, a packed house and a great time. But I am curious to see how the weather affects the game.
Yeah.
Because right now this wind is no joke, and it seems to be blowing in.
Yeah, it is. And it's very windy. It's been very windy all day. It has been a weird stretch of weather all the way around. I mean, realistically, it was. I'm not kidding. It was 80 degrees yesterday. And it's going to be 80 when we're at the farm in Folkestone. It's going to be 82. That's in 2 days. But today the high is 60, and right now it's in the 50s. And there's a little bit of a drizzle coming. But yeah, we're always happy to be here. We know a bunch of those Noles and Gators will all be here. They always come out to these games, and it's always well attended. Again, the weather's not quite as good today. They really just caught a little bit of a bad break. Again, if the game was yesterday or tomorrow, the weather would have been perfect. So, but we'll certainly talk about that. I can tell you this: we're happy to be here and happy to be excited about Florida and Florida State baseball. So today on the program, the Gator Bowl puts this event on, as you know. So our friend Greg McGarity from the Gator Bowl Association will join us. He's going to join us in just a few moments. We'll ask about this game. But I'll also ask about the significance of some of the events they put on here. Why is this game important? I think that's an important question. Why are some of these events important to the Gator Bowl? How does Greg see the bowl situation going? The fact that they did not move to 16 teams in football, that they're still at 12, how does that affect the Gator Bowl? And so we'll get sort of a Gator Bowl State of the Union from our friend Greg McGarity, who joins us in just a little bit. I'm trying to track down my buddy Eric Llewellyn. He's the play-by-play voice of the Noles. I've known Eric forever. I said hello to him earlier, so he's here. We're trying to track him down. Jeff Cardozo, the play-by-play voice of Gator baseball. So we'll have a lot of guests today, have a lot of fun today on the program. So a lot of fun stuff to do today, and I'm glad we're here to talk baseball. Cool as it may be and a little bit drizzly, it's still a nice day for college baseball, and I love the fact it's going to be packed here in the stadium tonight. All kind of other things we'll talk about. Kind of another wrap of where we are with March Madness. We talked about the Gators not being in. We'll talk about some of the teams that are in. It's interesting. You made an interesting point yesterday. I thought about this after the show. You think Thomas Houck's coming back to Florida?
Yes.
That is really. I will be very interested to see what happens there, because all the talk now will be. It's interesting. Everybody just seems to assume Fland will be back unless he just goes somewhere else. But there doesn't seem to be much conversation about Fland going to the NBA, which obviously, Lee can't come back. Handlockton's trying to get the hardship. So it's the conversation's about the 3 guys. The conversation's all about all three guys, Chinyelu, Condon, and Houck. It's almost like it's almost like a pool. What's your betting pool? What are your expectations? My expectations, I still think what I thought yesterday. I think at the end of the day, Condon and Houck have played their last game as Gators, and that Ruben Chinyelu will be back. You think all 3 will be back. I think the betting money would be Houck out, Chinyelu back, and 50-50 on Condon. I think the common narrative, I think, would be that. I also read today, and I think it was in Chris Harry's story or somebody else's, so I don't know where I read it. But I read today that there's a belief, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was one of the national guys, that both Chinyelu and Condon would cost $3 million apiece to come back. Yeah, I think you kind of said that. Boy, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but I think they can find it. It's easier for Florida fans to give to something that they believe in. they believe in Todd Golden and these basketball players. So I don't think they'll lose him because of money. And I think Houck's going to come back. I just think he's already a multimillionaire. He's not a lottery pick. Why not enjoy one more year? And, and we know he grew up a Tim Tebow fan. What did Tim Tebow do? He came back. So I think Houck comes back.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see whether or not he does. That'll be one of the big storylines. So we'll see whether or not that winds up happening. Also, on top of the teams that are left, who's the best team playing? Who's the best basketball? Is it Michigan? Is it who's the right now? If you were starting now, who's the best team playing?
I think it's Arizona.
Think Arizona?
Yeah.
And they,
significantly.
It's significant by
I'll
a
be
wide,
surprised if they don't win it all.
by a wide margin. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the way the whole thing plays out now. So we'll certainly talk a little bit about that today. Teams to watch now moving forward, knowing who's out, knowing who's in. I will say this: I saw a list today of the teams that are most disappointed they're out. And obviously, Florida's first on the list. They're a 1 seed, but it's interesting, and the story takes you through everything we went through yesterday in the program. How bizarre it is that it ended the way it did.
Yeah.
Not that they got outplayed for 3/4 of the game. That happens. Sometimes the other guy plays better. But the end game, if you go back and think again about how bizarre the end game was, when it looked like, despite everything that happened, they had overcome it. It was really weird. Really weird end game.
Really weird, and poor execution on both ends of the court. And again, Todd Golden didn't have a very good last few minutes there, which we're just not used to seeing. Obviously, he's human, and we know what an elite coach he is, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody in the country. But he struggled, with how he handled those last few possessions, offensively and defensively. So it was the perfect storm. It was going to take a perfect storm for Florida to lose to that Iowa team, and that's what happened. Iowa deserves credit in that, obviously, but you can't find a single redeeming performance of anybody that was in the orange and blue against Iowa. Like, no one, which hasn't happened all year. Even when they've lost, there's at least been, well, this guy played well. It was literally no one, including some just season worst performances from some of their best players. So very peculiar, but that's life. That's how sports goes. And again, it's a trend in this sport. Other than UConn defending a couple years ago, the reigning champ has not made it to the Sweet 16 very often. I think they're 1 for the last 8. I didn't think Florida would fall into that trap, but they did.
All right, so we're going to talk about that. Something else I want to touch on today, Hayes, and we'll certainly talk about it more as the week goes on and the days go on, the month goes on. But we're going to talk a lot of NFL draft. Everybody, this around here now, when the basketball stuff ends, it's about time to start talking draft. I'm very curious your thoughts, and we won't go into detail right now, but on where the draft has gone with regard to young quarterbacks. Everybody knows you got to have one. Everybody knows that for the most part, the teams that are very good, they become good because they develop young quarterbacks. Ty Simpson's the second best quarterback in the 2026 NFL draft.
It's crazy.
But that is a consensus now that Ty Simpson is the second best quarterback in the draft. I'd be very surprised.
Glad the Jags don't need one.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if he turns out to be a good NFL quarterback. He's fine. He's skilled. He's very skilled, by the way. He's strong arm, athletic. But what am I missing here? Is there that much of a dearth of quarterbacks these days? Not just this year, but these days in college football.
Yeah, it's a bad class. In a bad class, I'd say average prospects are going to get pushed to good, to in the realm of good prospects. Doesn't make them good players, but I think this is just desperate times, as we know in this league. If you don't have a starter, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it really on any of these guys. I think we're going to look up in 4 years. Maybe there'll be a guy comes out of nowhere. Maybe a Carson Beck, has a better career than people think as a 3rd, 4th round pick.
Right.
But the guys at the very top, I don't think any of them are going to get a second contract with their club.
Yeah. It's just really interesting. I do think Mendoza, there's something special about him. Number one, he's 6'5". He's smart. He's athletic enough. his arm's okay. He's not a cannon-armed guy. I think he benefits from the fact, Hayes, that there's not much in the draft with regard to quarterback, and the team picking first really needs one. And so, that storyline intrigues me, that he's probably going to go essentially play for Tom Brady, and by extension. So I'm intrigued with that storyline. I think he might be pretty good. I don't know if he's going to be great, but my gut tells me he might be pretty good. I think he's got enough of the software that the Brock Purdy's of the world have, and enough of the hardware that some of not the big arm guys, but some of them have. So I think he might wind up being okay. But I'm very intrigued by it. But as we go kind of position by position over the course of the next month or so, talking draft, quarterback really interests me. So we'll certainly touch on that. So we got a lot of things to do today on the program. We'll take a break. Do want to remind you, we're live at the ballpark. We're live here, and we're glad to be here at Vystar Ballpark as we get set for Florida and FSU baseball. They get together today at 6 o'clock, and we're certainly glad to be here to talk about that. The Gator Bowl Association is putting this on. When we come back, our friend Greg McGarity will join us from the Gator Bowl live here at the ballpark. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is 1010XL.
Woo! Who's having a good time?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Frank Frangie here. Truck Month is back at Nimnick Chevrolet. Bigger and better than ever. Now, Nimnick is offering supplier pricing for everyone on those new Chevy Silverados. That's right, the same pricing normally reserved for GM supplier companies, now open to the public. You haven't seen deals like this since before COVID. Trust me. Now, I've been buying my cars and trucks from Nimnick forever. So when they say they've got the largest Silverado inventory in the region, I can tell you your dream truck is waiting for you at Nimnick. But hurry, supplier pricing ends before March 31st. The best place to go and get cars, trucks, SUVs, I promise you, is Nimnick. I've been doing it forever, and I really have. Visit NimnickChevy.com or to the dealership at the corner of Park Street and Cassidy. You'll be awfully glad you did. An awful lot of nice people selling you the best products on the market. So who does a better job selling Silverados and more? Nobody but Nimnick. Head there today, won't you? Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now's the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summer.
XL Prime Time is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Josie, Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us?
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you could really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beard's, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range, not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beard's takes it a step farther with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
The College Football Report is presented each week by the Gator Bowl with Executive Director Greg McGarity. Here's Greg with the Frangie Show crew.
And it's not always football. Sometimes it's other stuff. My buddy Greg McGarity joins us now. The Gator Bowl puts on this terrific event. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'd put all this gear up for the spring, and here we are again.
Hayes and I were just talking about this. It's been a weird weather year, hasn't it? I mean, you think it's going to get warm, then it's cold again, then it's warm, but a little chilly today, but that's okay. We got baseball here, so that's cool. I'm going to get to all the things going on in the world of football.
Yep.
Football did not expand to 16. There's still 12. I want to get your thoughts on that. But let's start with this game and these events. Greg, why is this important to the Gator Bowl? You guys are so involved in stuff other than a football game. Why is stuff like this so important to you?
Well, this is one of our marquee events to where both teams have been coming to Jacksonville for a number of years.
Yeah.
The Gator Bowl has always been involved. The schools love to work with us and our staff, along with the great staff here. And so it's a lot of fun, a lot of history involved with this. But, we're going to have over 7,000 people in the house tonight.
Yeah.
And as this stadium still becomes a jewel, I mean, we were just talking about it off air. What they've been able to do here the last couple of years is phenomenal, and field surface as far as the premium areas. And the teams, they're receiving a good paycheck for this, and it's worth their time coming over. But we certainly look forward to doing this for the next 4 or 5 years at least.
Does it work that way? I used to pay you put on the game, sell the tickets, pay the teams to come. Is that how that works?
Absolutely. All those things are involved in everything, and the guarantees a big part of this, but also bringing something to Jacksonville to populate this facility. I mean, it helps in parking, concessions. You'll see it tonight. And after the game we had last year, it came down to the bottom of the ninth and a walk-off grand slam.
Amazing game.
These two teams are always so competitive, and one of the few times the fans of both institutions are able to come see the game and be in a great environment where it's what college baseball is all about.
Does this event sell out pretty quick?
I would say so. More seats this year than ever before since the addition in the right field premium areas. The PNC area underneath, which has the features, the clubhouse environment down there. It's just the premium areas have been enhanced. All new seats throughout the facility. I mean, the shrimp boats out in left center, the scoreboard. I mean, it's what you hope to see in a AAA ballpark, and I think what they've been able to do with the new entry out in center field around where the majority of parking is certainly enhances the experience. But it's just a great event.
You're right, Greg. It is a great ballpark, no question about it. So we're looking forward to it tonight. Florida and Florida State get together in baseball. Issues in college sports. Let's start with football. They did not expand to 16 teams. The Big Ten wouldn't move. Everybody else wanted 12. Everybody else wanted 16. They wanted 24. They refused to budge, so now we're stuck at 12. Good or bad for the Gator Bowl, in your opinion, and good or bad for college football, in your opinion?
I don't know if it's good for college football. The more you dilute the field, it's not the same. It's not everybody that plays foot. It's not you don't get participation trophies here, but I think whether we stay at 12, go to 16 or 24, I think the Gator Bowl is in great shape. What we have coming in 28 here, the amenities that North Florida provides as far as hotels, teams absolutely love to come to Jacksonville. And if you're not playing, in the college football playoff, where do you want to spend 3 or 4 days? That's at the beach in an environment, and being able to play in a state-of-the-art stadium are all good for us because, even if they take 24 teams, there's going to be probably, average 70, 75 teams that are eligible. So you're still going to have 20, 25 bowls that still supply the college football field that doesn't make the college football playoff. So I think it's relevant. It's really important to TV, as we see the ratings have been off the chart lately. Attendance, not so much, but it's becoming a game, a bowl game now that's more popular in the at home, watching it on TV than it is to actually attend. Unless you have people that can drive here, and that's the driving force for us. And just haven't been able to get those matchups the last 2 years.
Where are your contracts with the SEC and the ACC?
They're all in the verbal stage now because our 6-year contracts with ESPN and the SEC and the ACC have expired. And the plan is just to roll it over for another year. It gives them more time to decide how they want to format things from 27 and beyond. But we know in 26 we'll still have the ACC and the SEC. And right now it's everything's just verbal, even our agreement with ESPN. So until we have some finality there, we're living in a world where we're not in control, and that's a frustrating place to be when you're not in control and just waiting to hear from folks.
Is there any chance it won't get done? Is there any chance you won't have the same contract or the same relationship?
I think it could next year for sure. This coming year for sure. Forward, I'm not sure what's going to happen. If the 4 conferences get together, four power conferences get together and pick different bowl sites, to protect their teams. Who knows? I mean, I've heard so many outlandish things that are out there, but they all center the fact that college football needs bowl games.
Yeah.
And so that's going to take place. Otherwise, I think the networks would struggle with live content. I mean, if they didn't have bowl games all through the holiday period, what are they going to show?
Follow up to that story or that question. All right, next year you're playing in a smaller stadium. Then the year after that you're playing in Gainesville. But after that, you're going to be playing in a real state-of-the-art stadium. Will that help your positioning? Will that help when you go to pick teams? People say, whoa, I got to play in that thing. Will that help, do you think?
I think so. I mean, all these where these kids want to play where the big boys are playing.
Yeah.
And when you're staying in 2 premier areas, the weather's nice. I think all those things add up, as opposed to maybe some bowl cities that aren't great destinations. Cold weather. I don't think anybody wants to go play in a cold bowl game in a non-NFL stadium. I mean, those are the type of things that they're going to have to struggle with. But I think we'll be in great shape. I'm not overconfident, but I'm just really bullish on everything that Jacksonville has to offer.
Yeah, and did I talk out of turn? Are you going to Gainesville in 2 years, or are you waiting to see what the Jags? You're going to Gainesville.
Yes,
no matter where the Jags go,
absolutely.
your game's going to be in Gainesville.
Yep, we're there.
The president conducted a conference a couple weeks ago. What did you make of that, and what are some changes that you think can feasibly take place to maybe get college athletics a little bit more stabilized?
Well, I got excited a little bit when Donald Trump was talking about putting the paste back in the tube and kind of getting back to where scholarships meant something and academics meant something, and to hear Coach Saban talk about those things. As far as just a traditionalist, I mean, those are the things that made college football so special. Kids graduating. I mean, when's the last time you heard about a young person being academically ineligible?
Right, never.
You just don't hear about it. I mean, kids can transfer. It's just total chaos. And I think the president was trying to get it managed a little bit. There's just so many lawsuits out there that everybody's scared to death of being sued. And so I'm hopeful there will be some type of structure involved. I hope they can hire someone, if there's a structure available, perhaps like a Nick Saban, that could be the commissioner of college football, because right now it's all in the hands of the conference commissioners. And so I think there's hope. I think the only way there's some real hope is if Congress gets involved and takes care of antitrust and things of that nature. So at least there's a start, and we'll see. The devil's in the details. I mean, the press conferences are so good and blustery and everybody's going to do this. Well, Congress has a hard time just doing the normal things. I'm not so sure how it'll work out, but at least the president's engaged and several senators and congressmen, so hopefully there'll be some good news.
Isn't the main thing to take it out of the state court's hands? I mean, I think the problem is, and I think the reason everybody wants the federal government involved and Congress involved is so college football can't say A, and instead of that a judge in Mississippi or Indiana or wherever says, no, I'm going to overrule that. That's what we got to get away.
Yeah.
We have to get to where state courts can't overrule the rule. Isn't that the big thing?
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be some commonality in the.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing right now with state taxes on the taxable part of NIL. I mean, if you're living in certain states like Washington State or California State, you're going to pay a luxury tax on.
Right.
So
right.
if you live in the state of Florida, I mean, there is no state tax. So you've got a lot of things, but I think they're striving for consistency, that there can be a level playing field as best as can be.
Would you like to see March Madness expanded?
No. I think right now, I mean, 68 teams, that's enough. I mean, if you expand, it used to be something really to make the NCAA tournament. It still is. But if you keep expanding, it's going to water down the teams. I don't think you're going to see a 70th ranked team knocking off a number one team. I just don't. As far as maybe not where they're seeded, but you may have a team like Auburn certainly could have done some damage. Oklahoma could have done some damage, but I think you see some other teams that, it would have been very difficult for them to be competitive.
I asked Greg Sankey last year at the SEC Media Days, how concerned is he about how it's gone off the rails now that a California team is playing in Tallahassee in a conference game and all that has changed and NIL and whatnot. He said, he's looked me right in the eye. He said, Frank, none of those are the biggest problem. The biggest problem we have are players playing on too many teams. He said, we have got to stop these multiple transfers. Yeah. We have to stop those. Do you believe in, you think it's possible to have a one-time transfer? Can we ever get back to that?
I wish we could. I mean, I wish there was some consequence for transferring just because of conditions that aren't affected by coaching changes, things of that nature. I know there are some circumstances there that might necessitate it, but to have some of these young men, young women be at 4 different institutions in 4 years is just ludicrous. And so that's where the academic piece is forgotten about, class attendance policies. I mean, you just don't hear about these things anymore because, kids can just get in school. You've seen that happen before, to where I'm not so sure how hard it is to get in schools that want to be competitive in sports now, because academics is just not a part for the vast majority. There are some still that do it the old-fashioned way.
But you're right. It's a problematic. Final thing for you. Give me a State of the Union of the Gator Bowl Association, because it's part of the fabric of our city's sports scene. It always has been, and I grew up with it. Yep. And it's changing because of the changing face of college athletics. Are you is the guy running the ship? Are you happy with it? Are you happy with the way you guys? You can't navigate the college sports landscape, but you can react to it, and you have to. Are you happy with where your association is?
I'm really, really happy on the things that we can control as far as a membership, the way we have developed corporate membership, our Bowl Ladies initiatives, the things that we can control. The retention rate that we have from our membership is off the chart. And so those are things we're very proud of. We're very proud of all the things we do other than football and baseball in the charitable world. And so we do phenomenal things there. The frustrating part are the things that you can't control, and you're on the back end of it. So there are a lot of answers we'd love to have answered right now that aren't forthcoming over the next week or so. It may be a month or so.
Yeah.
So I think, again, the things that we can control, our staff works really hard. We've got great members, great corporate sponsors that love Gator Bowl sports, love being a part of something now in the 82nd year. So it's been a mainstay here, and we look forward to enhancing that, making it better, growing our membership, and having a lot of fun in doing so.
Greg, you're doing a great job running. It's great having you on. Stay warm tonight. Go find one. You're a big swanky guy. You can find a suite up there.
I can hide in a lot of places. Okay.
Have fun tonight. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Greg McGarity, the executive director of the Gator Bowl. When we come back, we'll get into Florida baseball. Eric Llewellyn, by the way, the play-by-play voice of Florida State baseball, joins us at 5 o'clock. We'll talk all things FSU with Eric, not just baseball, but all of it. But when we come back, Jeff Cardozo is the voice of the Gators. He'll join us after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Attention skilled electricians, are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our two-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year low. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 five-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We appreciate our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet is on Cassett, Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. We're going to give Hayes Carline, a segment off as he tries to repair that voice a little bit because my buddy Jeff Cardozo joins me now, the terrific play-by-play voice of Gator Baseball. How are you, man?
Awesome. Always great to see you.
Good to see you.
So I got the annual visit over at TPC, running into you, which was great. But yeah, this is always fun. Wish the weather was a little better for it, but anytime these two teams get together, that it's a fun time.
I told you this off air. I'll tell you this on air. I told you and Nick Belmonte this. Well, the broadcasts are fantastic, and now that we can watch them on TV, it's almost like being the Braves fan on TBS. So you guys do. I'm serious. Jeff, do a fantastic job.
Appreciate it.
Really love the broadcast. You can't get no hit.
Yeah.
What is and I watched the South Carolina series too. Yeah, I'm a diehard, so I watched all the games. Boy, offensively, it's a team that's going to struggle. Did you expect that? Did you expect them to be?
I think a little bit, but just maybe not to that extent.
Yeah.
Especially when you're facing a guy that. Not like you're going to see this weekend at Arkansas, or not like you're going to see when you face some of these other high-end SEC teams. So I think that's a little concerning. I think they're still trying to figure some stuff out. Even when Cash Strayer started doing pretty well at the beginning of the year, you could tell there was some of the lefty struggles, and then what happens when you get to SEC play. For Surwick, a little tardy on some fastballs, and then losing Lawson certainly hurt the rest of the weekend. But yeah, to do that for 26 outs against South Carolina on Friday night, and then come back and get no hit the next Friday night. I think there's a little concern, but Sully's always done a great job of being able to figure stuff out. I mean, we started 1-11 last year in SEC play, and they turned it around. I think it's a mindset, and I honestly think, Frank, still some of these guys as they try to learn, and you go 3-0. First weekend, Alabama's 0-3, so you probably stroll into Bama thinking, all right, these guys are only hitting 260. We just have to show up and we'll be fine. And I think they're realizing that in the SEC you have to figure it out mentally more than anything else. You got to show up and be ready to play.
Jeff, let me ask that. I want to ask this the right way because I like Sully, and I'm a big fan of the program, as you know. But I wonder the state of the program a little bit. If people follow it, know Sully's been through some stuff off the field, including the on the field suspension from what happened in the regional last year. Chuck Geralman leaves to go be with his buddy in Tennessee. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff that has gone on. And you look at the program now, they're probably, if you look at polls, they're 5th, 6th, 7th best in the league. What is the state of the program? Is it in good shape? Can you repair some of that stuff?
Yeah, I think, not having him there for the fall probably set things back a little bit. And then when Chuck left, because Chuck was basically running the team.
Right.
And then it happens right at the end of all that. So then you bring in Tommy Slater, who has been absolutely awesome. We love Tommy Slater.
And a good baseball guy.
Yeah, just knows the game really well. And I think the guys are still trying to adapt to his style, I think, from a hitting standpoint. So you have that there. But I think Sully in general, I think him missing that time actually maybe rejuvenated him a little bit because he didn't expect that to happen at the regional last year from a playing standpoint. I mean, you lose to a couple of teams you probably shouldn't. You've got Liam Peterson on the mound who you would expect to go out and do some things, and he couldn't do anything. So I do feel like he came out in February and said, okay, I've got a kind of new way to look at this program and go about it. And I think it was in really good shape. So I don't know. It's weird to see them struggle because I think that we all felt that it was going to be that way. And you knew the pitching was going to be fine. And then you had it set up for Sunday. And then all of a sudden you couldn't do anything. All those guys that have been really, really good had no idea. It's like they never even been on a mound before. So I think it's part of that. But I do think, I don't think there's an issue with Sully not being compassionate and caring and knowing baseball and doing all this other stuff. I think he's kind of going to turn it into a new gear this week, especially after what happened. You could see it, after the game and talking to him and seeing post-game that, hey, maybe he needs to now go back and be a little more fiery than he was because, he came back thinking, I don't need to do that. So it's just that fine line of trying to find what's working and what's not going to work.
How good, and I'm going to expound on the question, how good is the team? Brendan Lawson's a great player.
Yeah.
You got a great player. Liam Peterson and Aiden King are great starters. You got two relievers. You and I were laughing about this we saw the players. You got relievers throwing 100.
Yeah.
But overall, how good is the team? How good is the roster?
Yeah, it's to me, it's not an Omaha team, and it's hard to say that, but I've seen a lot of them. I mean, we've been 9 times in the last 18 years, and I think the pitching can get you there. That 17 team where Florida actually won it. I mean, you had 3 big leaguers in the rotation, and you had some dudes on the back end. So I think that pitching staff is there, but they don't nearly play as defense as good as they did on that 17 team. And then the lineups, I don't think as good. So it's like, if teams pitch around Lawson, what are you going to do when you have no protection and Surwick's hitting 3-holer? Then you've got Bowen, who doesn't really have much pop, trying to be the cleanup guy. So, and I don't know if there's a plus defender, Frank, at any spot. I think that's the concerning part is when we were at Bama, they have a shortstop who looked the part. And I mean, he made a play that really helped the no-hitter. If he doesn't make the play, it's not a no-hitter anymore. And he brought 2 balls on Sunday that I thought were easily going to get up the middle and drove in a couple of runs, and he got there. And I don't think Florida or Lawson could get to those, or I don't think Curlin can get to those at second, or I don't think Jones can maybe run down a ball in center field like we've seen from other center fielders. So there's just not that just plus defender anywhere on the field that makes you think that, all right, they can pitch, they can play defense, they can probably do enough to get to Omaha.
And you knew that when they moved Lawson. Lawson's not a shortstop.
Sure.
He's a corner infielder at the next level. Curlin has got good power for second baseman. Yeah, you're right. You're dead on there. So it'll be interesting to see. Sully's a great coach. You made a great point. They've been 9 times in 18 years. He kind of knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
And so it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Tell me a little bit about tonight's game, because then I want to ask you about Florida athletics overall. Sandiford pitches. Tell me, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, Sandiford, a transfer from UCF. They were thinking about using him as the Sunday starter, and Cooper Walsh just kind of beat him out. Sandiford was a little inconsistent. And actually in this stadium, he pitched in that exhibition before Florida, Georgia, and was a little wild. I think that was probably the last audition that didn't get him the spot, but he started against Stetson last Tuesday night, and I mean, he looked like he was a Major League Hall of Famer. It was just lights out, slider. He was a weak grounder to second away from an immaculate inning. It was 8 strikes, and then all of a sudden, all right, sweet, he's going to get it, and then the guy just barely taps one. So he's got all the stuff. He's 94, 95, nasty slider, good changeup, but he's got to be consistent, and that's the part that we haven't figured out yet.
Let's talk about the athletic program. I haven't met John Summerall. Had him on the air. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll say, and I told him this. I appreciate the fact that he's doing every interview, buddy. He's doing national, local podcasts. And I think Florida's been very wise. He's clearly really charismatic.
Sure.
So they're miking him up and they're sending him out to interviews, which I think is really smart. Tell me more about him and how's he been received in Gainesville?
I think just, I got to talk to Billy Napier quite a bit. I'm the first person that talks to him after games and doing that interview. And I think in just the first 3 minutes and talking to Summerall, it was night and day difference from the 4 years of conversation I've had. And you can see that. You've been around enough guys to realize that you have to have a different mindset. And I'm not saying it's all this, but you go to practice and you actually hear like some curse words. And it's just like, it sounds like football.
Yeah,
where
good point.
It's not like, okay, hey, it's okay. You get them next time. No, it's like, you screwed up. I need to get on you and I need to make you better, because if you don't, we're going to get our brains beat in. So I like the mindset. I like the thought process. I like, some of the staff members and the way that they're trying to motivate these guys. And I think they have a lot of talent, but the problem is, I don't know if those guys know how to win yet. And that's going to be the biggest issue. Can he bring that out of them and say, hey, you've got to have this mentality to go kind of balls to the wall on every single play. And if you don't do that, I think that's why you lose some of these plays. So I think it's just really a mindset more than anything. And I absolutely love it.
Jeff Cardozo with us on the Gator Radio Network, and of course the play-by-play voice of Gator Baseball. That was a gut punch, bro. The basketball is a gut punch. I'm still not over it. I mean, I'm whiny fan guy. I'm that guy. But I guess most people's assessment were you knew where their flaws were.
Sure.
You knew it was guards and shooting, and if anybody took away their inside, did they have guards and shooting? Did they have a guy that could make a shot at the end? And that kind of reared its head, didn't it?
It did. And we were actually flying home from Bama, so we missed the whole first half. And we land, we turn on the game, and you see the score, and then how the second half started. I'm like, what the heck's going on? But then I still felt, all right, Florida's going to come back. They'll be fine. And, reading some of the stuff from the first half, it's like they didn't shoot well, so they'll be okay. And I think the concerning part was, everything that we've seen from Todd these last couple of years is the dude knows how to coach. He's really, really good at that. So you look at the last couple of minutes and say, what happened there? Was it the execution? Where did they not do what he asked them to do? Or I think that was more surprising than anything else to, kind of just see the way those last 2 minutes, especially, you're up 3 with the ball, a minute and a half to go, and you don't really get a good shot off. And then it was weird, I think. And I don't know if the thing with Condon and kind of rattled them or what have you. But, remember, I was there for that Auburn game when kind of Auburn punched them in the mouth at home, and, they never really rebounded from that. I think guys just figured out maybe the way to play them down the stretch at the end of the year, and obviously they executed and made a shot.
Jeff, final thing. You know that program. For people that don't know, Jeff was a very good pitcher at Florida, stayed there, does radio in Gainesville, as well as very involved with all the athletic programs. So let me ask you, state of the program as best you can see it. I think very healthy. But I'm a big Scott Strickland fan. Scott's a friend, and I've defended him.
Yep.
Even when he takes some shots. That's my opinion. I think the football guy's exciting. We'll see if he can coach. Basketball guy's obviously very good. The baseball guy's been to Omaha 9 times in the last 18 years. Tammy Rice is very highly regarded.
Yep.
Facilities seem to be in great shape. So that's my take and I live here.
Yeah.
You live there. You're closer to it. What's the state of the program? Do you feel good about where overall the Florida athletic program is?
I do. And like you said, I get to be around it a lot. I think it's starting to get back to that mindset of what it takes. I think there was a couple of years where you're trying to figure out NIL, what's going to work, who you're going to get, how you're going to bring people in. But, everything that Scott's done, at least in my mind, has always been for the benefit of the fans. I think he's done a great job at all that other stuff. And then maybe sometimes on the other side, trying to adapt and get the coaching side right, get the player side right. And I think it's all right there. And I think he does a tremendous job with all that. And, it's a passionate fan base. I mean, they care a lot, which is really, really fun. But I think now you have the basketball piece in place. I mean, Sully's going to do what he does. And you have, I think, a guy with the right mindset in football to turn it back. And you can, this day and age, it doesn't take 3 or 4 years. And I think that was the issue with Billy. It was always wanting to build it. But you have to now do it in a year or two, or you're going to really fall behind. So I think they have the right guy to be able to do that.
Jeff Cardozo talking Gator Athletics. You do a great job. By the way, I wasn't planning on watching tonight. I was planning on staying. But if it gets much colder, I might watch it tonight. So
no doubt. I don't blame you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, Frank.
Jeff Cardozo from the Gator Radio Network and from Gator Baseball as well. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Get Florida Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
Gators baseball is back in Jax. It's the Florida Sunshine Showdown. Florida State live at the baseball grounds tonight at 6 on 1010 AM.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jake McAllister, senior lacrosse and football player at Fletcher High. Jake's a member of the National Honor Society and the Key Club. He's been accepted to attend Lincoln Memorial University.
Here's hoping for a Raise the Roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hicken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrist Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard, and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
It's your boy E to the T here, and the Clay County Fair turns 40 this year. The rides, the music, the fun, and of course, the food eating contest hosted by Team 1010XL. I'll be there too, looking for you. April 2nd through the 12th. Learn more at claycountyfair.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We thank our friends from the Nimnik family dealership. Saw my buddy Billy Nimnik today. Nimnik Chevrolet is on Cassett. Nimnik Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. Been buying my cars there a long time. You want cars in this market, you want Nimnik. Great to have Jeff Cardozo, the voice of the Gators, with us. Eric Llewellyn, who calls FSU baseball, will join us in about 10 minutes or so. Hayes rejoins me for a moment in between. Interesting conversation. And by the way, for people that follow the show every day, we're going to do headlines at about 5:15, 5:20. So Hayes headlines are coming up. We're just adjusting the schedule a little bit. Interesting conversation with Jeff Cardozo. I said, what's the state of the program? I mean, the football guy seems very energetic and charismatic. They got a great basketball coach. I don't care what happened over the weekend. We all know that. Tammy Rice, the women's basketball coach they just hired, comes from that Virginia program. Very highly regarded at a smaller school. Sully, say what you want about what happened last weekend. They've been to Omaha 9 times in 18 years. What do you say? I think the program's in really good. Facilities are finally good. I think it's in really good shape.
Well, the variable is John Sumrall, and we won't know anything in terms of concrete results until the fall. But again, he conducts a 30-minute press conference today. I don't know if you got a chance to see any of it.
I haven't.
I mean, he's just spectacular. You watch him and you come away with the feeling, and I'm not the only people. Our media brethren that cover him, kind of feel the same way, that aren't even Florida fans. Like, man, this guy seems sharp.
Yeah.
And again, we don't have any tangible wins to speak of yet. I get that, but if Sumrall is the right coach, I mean, they're off and running. AP and the Orlando Sentinel have reported this just in the last 15 minutes. Scott Strickland talked with the reporters, obviously, at the hiring introductory press conference for the new women's basketball coach. And he says their goal is to get an extension done with Golden. And he feels very optimistic about that. This would be the 3rd straight year that they've gotten an extension done with Todd Golden, which would include, obviously, another raise. And so Florida feels very confident that Todd Golden is going to be a Gator.
And I will tell you this, which is good, because they need him for the longest time. Back to Sumrall. If he's good at that one other thing, coaching, he's going to be great. Now, because we don't know. I told you this before. I'm done predicting. if they'll be good or not, because I've been wrong every time. So, and maybe that's because I predict they'll be good every time. But if he's good at that part. But I think if he's the right guy, Golden's clearly the right guy. Again, Sully ran into some problems here, but he goes to Omaha every other year. If I think the facilities are in great shape. Don't underestimate that. Now, it's not as important from a recruiting standpoint as it once was because NIL has kind of replaced do you have the swanky building to a point? But it still matters. It still matters. And Florida's facilities, which were not great, are now great. So I do sense that if they can get football going, that program's in really – I mean, I really believe that.
I don't think there's any way to argue against it. I mean, other than women's basketball – which has just never been good for any great length of time, certainly not in the last 25 years. Everything else on campus performs well.
Right.
Football has struggled, but it feels like they've got the right guy. Again, we'll see, but, it feels like everybody that has been around them and seen the program up close feels like this has the chance to be Todd Golden 2.0.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I mean, you could be back to the days where,
you're really good at
when
both.
it was Urban and Billy, there was no doubt in America what school had the best 1-2 punch of coaches.
Right.
Well, you got the basketball now. I mean, Todd Golden and a mannequin puts you in the top 10 of that conversation. But if John Sumrall ends up being one of the top 3 or 4 best coaches in the SEC, I mean, Florida's athletic department will be right back to where they were 20 years ago, where, I mean, their fans were in constant euphoria and their rivals were in constant misery.
Yeah, I would never say this. A more cynical person than me might have said, Todd Golden and a mannequin is what you did have. Okay, but I would say that. I would never
I was
say
going to leave that for you.
I would never say that. Well, I wouldn't say that, though, but other people would have said that.
Well, you might be giving the mannequin, maybe underselling the mannequin.
But it's interesting. All right, so we're going to take a break. Going to let you rest that voice a little bit. We got headlines about 15 minutes. Eric Llewellyn's going to join me. He's the terrific play-by-play voice of FSU, but he also knows the program, not just baseball. He knows that program inside and out. I'm going to ask him the same question. What's the state of the program? I know they feel good about Luke Laux. Can football turn the corner, or are we just biding the time until the next guy's there? So we'll talk FSU baseball and FSU overall when Eric Llewellyn joins me after this on 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Wonder what Dan Hicken would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
When I signed you 4 years ago, I said, man, that man can sing.
Dan Hicken.
I said, he's going to be a big star.
Mornings on the Drill.
A big star, man.
On 1010XL.
This is my nightmare.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Some plumbing companies say they're local, right up until you realize their headquarters are in New York City. At Hall & Sons Plumbing, we're actually from here. Born, raised, and fixing leaks right here in Jacksonville. Hall & Sons Plumbing. Local. Family. Real.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jada Mincy, senior cheerleader, weightlifter, and track and field athlete at First Coast High School. She's the president of the National Honor Society and has been accepted to attend FSU.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
At the First Coast YMCA, there's no place like this place, with programs and experiences that will bring your whole family together. Summer will be here before we know it, and Y Summer Day Camp registration is now open. Visit your local Y to secure your child's spot early for a season full of memories and adventure. Don't delay. Day camps will fill up. There's no place like this place, so visit your local Y to sign up or online at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips & Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
Come visit the best sports restaurant in town. That's Big Dogs in Orange Park, known for great burgers, huge wings, pizza, salads, and special nightly events like trivia and karaoke. You'll all love it at Big Dogs Restaurant in Orange Park.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The Florida vs. Florida State rivalry returns to the Diamond tonight, right here in Jacksonville, down at Vystar Ballpark, as the 19-4 Seminoles take on the 19-6 Gators for a 6 o'clock first pitch. Listen to the game live on 1010 AM, as well as the 1010XL app. It's 60 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on the Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Nimnik Chevrolet is on Cassett Avenue. Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway, the best place to buy cars. New, used, you name it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, get them at Nimnik, the Nimnik family of dealerships. Frank Frangie with you now. My buddy Eric Llewellyn joins us. It's not your 20th year. You're too young for it to be your 20th year. Too young.
That's unbelievable.
20 years of doing FSU baseball. That is awesome.
Buster Posey's sophomore year was my first year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How about that?
Now he's retired and he's a GM.
And he's running a major league team. And this is your 950th game.
950 today.
How about that? A lot of times with my buddy Tom Block.
Oh,
okay.
A lot of time with Tom.
Tom still spends it. Tom's with us every fall.
Tom's like, hey, I want you 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Record with me. I'm like, 8 a.m.? I'm going to get home at like 12:30. Like, what are we talking about, 8 a.m.?
Tom's the greatest.
I said, I'm not coherent then. He said, we're never coherent, so you'll fit right in.
I want to talk about a lot of FSU athletics, but let me start with baseball. They're here tonight, 18-4 overall, 5-1 in the league. The minute Link Jarrett got back to town, you knew. The first year he had to kind of run some guys off, for lack of a better way to say it. But obviously now it's one of the better programs in the country. What's the state of baseball? Because it certainly seems to be very healthy.
It really is. And I mean, there's when you look at what Link Jarrett does, he's got his hands on every part of the program, but he does a good job of I don't want to say controlling things because he lets his assistants do what they need to do, but he's still on top of it. He's not a complete hands-off kind of coach. So he stays involved in every aspect, but he does let the assistants work. And I think he's got I think he's put together a very good staff. I think he's got guys that work well together, guys with ties to the program, guys with ties to Link, the kind of really chemistry that you need in a staff. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've got this going so well.
I think we all thought this, and maybe it's harder for you to say you worked there. I mean, but Mike Martin Jr. had to have the job. You almost had to give it to him. And this is not to knock him. But Link Jarrett was out there, and I wondered if that window would close and he would not be the FSU. Does that make sense? He was at Greensboro. He did such a great job at Notre Dame. They knock off Tennessee. They go to Omaha. And I said, it just wouldn't feel right, Eric, if Link Jarrett didn't wind up being the FSU coach. Does that make sense? That question makes sense? That's
it does. And there was a lot of noise around the Clemson job when they got rid of Monty Lee.
Yes.
Because they get rid of Monty Lee. Link's at Notre Dame. He's in a super regional, about to go to the College World Series. And
after knocking off number 1 Tennessee.
Yeah. And before they hired Eric Bakich, there was a lot of noise about Bakich and Link for that Clemson job. And there were a lot of people in Tallahassee at that time that were like, because the thought of having Link end up at Clemson, where at the time we were still in divisions and we had to play them every year. And the thought of that, I think, made some people very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but he's done a great job. Tell us about tonight's starter, Cooper White. It's from Sandalwood, a left-hander from Sandalwood. Tell me what we're going to see tonight.
Well, he's got a really odd arm angle. Like he's low 3/4. He comes right from behind his ear. He does a good job hiding the baseball. And then he gets good extension when he comes at it. So he's not a guy that's going to throw 95 at you, but he is a guy that his 88 to 92 plays up a lot higher because of the way he hides the ball, where he comes from, and the extension that he gets.
How important are these games? Obviously, everybody, your best 3 pitchers are pitching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't care if you're in the SEC, the ACC, wherever you are. So you got to play your arch rival in front of a packed house here every year, and both teams have to use their 5th guy or whatever it is. How do the teams emotionally manage this game compared to a weekend series against a conference opponent?
I think the fact that it's Florida and Florida State makes it a lot easier for the players to actually manage that.
Yeah.
Florida and Florida State could meet on a playground down the street 5 miles from here with nobody in the stands, and everybody would be fired up and ready to play because it's Florida and Florida State.
Right.
So I don't think – I think in the grand scheme of things, there tends to be more emphasis on the weekend series because it's a 3-game series. But I also think that the weekday games, the Tuesday and Wednesday games, hold a lot more weight than even the people that are doing the deciding understand that they do, just because of how you evaluate a record. Look, I know my team's 20-10 in the conference, and they won 43 games. Well, guess what? They did pretty good on Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the course of the year. And Link talks about that all the time. He says, throughout the course of the season, this 1 hour space of time that we're playing on a Tuesday night could be the difference between us hosting or not hosting at the end of the year. So you've got to take all of those 1 hour blocks of time or 30-minute blocks of time or 1 inning of time, and you've got to take all of those seriously.
You've called so many games that were more important, Omaha games, regional games, super regional games, and I get that, conference games. But calling a walk-off granny with a kid from here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, tell me about that. For people that don't know, last year in this ballpark, Alex Lodi's hit a walk-off granny. He grew up here. I think I've told you this story before. I knew both of Alex's parents before they were married. Okay, so the people know that we know the Lodi's family in here. What was that like?
The thing about it is it's a grand slam for the cycle.
Yeah.
It's a grand slam for the cycle.
I forgot about the cycle.
It's a grand slam for the cycle to walk off a game and win. It's a grand slam for the cycle to walk off a game and win in your hometown. It's a grand slam for the cycle to walk off a game in your hometown against your biggest rival.
How about that?
When you start throwing all the layers onto it, I don't know how a hit gets any bigger for a guy personally, for a program, for any of those things.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if I told you this. I think I told you this because I've known Billy and Cindy forever.
Yeah.
I was in Cape Cod when Alex was playing up there. Was it maybe 2 years ago? and he was a star there.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a good player. I mean, he's a guy that if he's not in the big leagues, we'd all be surprised. You agree with that?
Oh, I 100%. And you see him already in spring training making those kinds of plays defensively that we saw out of him in college, and he's doing it against the big leaguers. He's just that story for him to come out of Bartram Trail, go to UNF for a year, have the season he had there, transfer to Florida State, and play the way he did, go to the College World Series, then have the junior year that he had, end up getting drafted when he got drafted. It's such a great story, and he's a great kid. I mean,
great kid.
I don't say that because you know his parents. I say that because I got to know him, and he's a great kid. I walked in. I missed my first game since 2014 last year, ACC tournament game. I get back to the hotel at midnight. We've been eliminated, but I had to come back not knowing whether we were going to be playing the next day or not. And I walk into the hotel at like 5 after 12, and I see Alex. Like, I go in, I grab a drink out of the team room, and I see Alex. First thing out of his mouth, he goes, "How was your son's graduation?" I didn't tell him about it.
First thing he said.
I didn't tell him about it, but he heard about it, and that was his first thought when he saw me that night, was to ask me about my kid's graduation.
That's a great.
That's
a great story.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me a bit.
No,
but it's a great story. All right, let's talk FSU athletics. Where do you stand on football? Obviously, football is under the gun. We know that. Everyone knows the story by now. Mike Norvell, for today, is still the coach. Where's that headed? What's your opinion on all of it?
Well, you hope that he can go in there and have the kind of success that we saw from him 3 years ago. That's the tough part about all this is, what he was able to do in 2023 when he got the right personnel and everything was in the right place. So I think part of it is you hope that he can get that team back there. And he's done it in the NIL era. He's done it in the transfer portal. He's done it in all of those times that we're in right now. So you hope he can get that back and do it. We'll see what happens this year. I think this is a huge year for him. I didn't think, and I do think there was obviously a lot of rancor around how that season turned out last year after the start we had beating Alabama. But I didn't feel like that was the year that you make a move or that you're going to make a move if you're going to do that. So I do think that this is a big year as far as that goes, and he's got to go out there and get it done.
Where's the fan base? Torn, in between, ready to move on? Where's the fan base?
Yeah, I think the fan base is torn. I think you've got some that are, hey, let's stick with this and see if he can get it done. And I think there are some that are like, well, I don't know about this. But I also think there's some that are like that. If you go 10-2, they're like, this is unacceptable.
Why'd we lose that game? I do get the sense, talking to the Florida State folks I know, and you're in the middle of it, so you know better than I do, that they think they found something in Luke Laux. Do you get that impression?
Absolutely.
I think there's a real positive. Even before they went on the run at the end of the year, I think there was positive energy about him.
Well, and you look at one, I don't know how true this is. This is what I've heard. I'm not as connected with basketball as I am with baseball, obviously. I've heard that between them and BC, that's two of the lowest Power 4 NIL budgets of teams out there.
Interesting.
And for him to come in and not have the college experience, but to come in and assemble that team the way he did and get them playing the way they were at the end of the season, and also to adjust out of what he wanted to do. Because you go back to the start of the year, and it was we're going to average more threes than everybody else in the country, and they were running and gunning and doing all that. And then they hit a point where he said, okay, we've got to turn around, focus a little more on defense. And they really adjusted the way they played. And then look what that turned into. I think when you see a coach make that kind of adjustment in the middle of a season, in the middle of his first season, I think that's a good sign. He's having success recruiting the high school kids. Now he's got to go out and get it done in the portal.
How is Florida State managed this kind of crazy ACC with teams in California and teams all over? I mean, FSU is the ultimate football blue blood. Frankly, it's the ultimate baseball blue blood. Yet you're having a lot of teams in the league that aren't. How does FSU manage that? How do you feel about all that?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's like we went to Cal last year. We're going to Stanford this year. And those are long trips. Like when you're talking about a 3-game series, we're going to be gone for, I think, 6 days.
Oh, wow.
When we go to Stanford, because we're playing over here on Tuesday. And then we're going from here out to California. And that's hard enough to do that once a year. I can't imagine Stanford and Cal they're coming this way more than once a year because they're coming and playing everybody. You know, they've got 5 home series, 5 road series. So other than going to play against each other, where are they going? They don't have anywhere else to go but to come all the way east. So it's got to be extremely tough on them in the course of a 56-game season to have to travel east as much as they do. And it's tough, but, you know, that's a decision the ACC made to add 2 schools in California, and you know, you don't get a choice in the matter.
Right.
You go where they tell you to go.
You
as
didn't get
far
a
as
vote
where
on
you're
that.
playing.
What a final thing or two. What to expect tonight from FSU baseball? What should we watch for tonight?
You know, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, we're coming off a couple of really good weeks. The game 2 weeks ago in Gainesville didn't go the way we wanted it to. Obviously, it went the way Florida wanted it to.
Right.
But this has been a team that they've had a lot of injuries going on, but guys have really stepped up and plugged holes to the point where the guys that came in and replaced the guys that hurt are performing, and they're still in the lineup even though guys are healthy now. So I think they've shown that there's a lot of depth on this team. You know, one of the things, we're probably down a couple of relievers today just because of what guys had to pitch over the weekend. But we still have enough, and we've got guys that need to pitch, that need to get out there. So, I expect the kind of matchup we always have where it's a good game, it's competitive. You're going to probably see 6 or 7 guys pitch for each team. And it's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy here. Should be a lot of fun.
Should be a lot of fun. All right, so before we let you go, I'm going to let you tell the story. I usually tell it. But right now, as we sit here right now, I've got on an Under Armour long sleeve, a T-shirt over that, a heavy hoodie over that, and then sort of a fleece over that.
Yeah.
You have on, it's like a T-shirt.
Yeah,
it's long sleeve.
Right.
It's like a long sleeve T-shirt, which is stupid. Tell the story. 99?
So 1999, we did a 2-hour pregame show together, and it was 10:10 and what used to be 12:70 over in Tallahassee. Yeah. And so they paired us up. You and I think we were together for an hour of that. And Frank was looking at me. It's like 40 degrees.
It's cold as crap.
I'm in a golf shirt. I think I was wearing shorts.
You were shorts. It was 40 degrees. You had on shorts on.
And I was an offensive lineman at FSU. And Frank's like, well, if this is what the offensive linemen at FSU are like, we're
Gators
dead
have no chance.
We're dead in the water.
They roll the sleeves up.
We're not this tough. I mean, this is insane. And we did go. And that was, I think, Marcus Outson.
Yes, it was. And we were.
Winky had the broken neck.
We were at 9:30 at the time. You were at 12:50. It was a great game. And it was freezing cold out there. You had on a pair of shorts, and I said, "What are we doing? What are we doing over here?" So I've never forgotten that. Eric Llewellyn, you do a great job. Hey, congratulations on 20 years calling FSU baseball. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. We appreciate it.
Always.
Back in a moment on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Wonder what Rick Ballou would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
So you had a fight with a game show host on national TV. I don't consider that entertainment.
Rick Ballou.
This is not hockey.
Weeknights on 1010XL.
Feel the rush of lighting up something truly exceptional. This Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 4 p.m., step into the ultimate cigar experience at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. Join us for an exclusive Aganorsa Leaf Cigar event featuring incredible Aganorsa Leaf cigar deals, great food, and exciting prizes. Bring your friends, relax, and enjoy an unforgettable afternoon. Because at Tobacco Cove, it's more than a cigar store. It's an experience.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Throw your rifle and rod in the truck every Saturday morning.
This could be really special.
Go hunting and fishing with Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Walls on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
March is full of upsets, but your oil change shouldn't be one of them. Don't gamble with your time in a waiting room. Go with a proven winner, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment, stay in your car, and a full-service oil change in 15 minutes. That's why Valvoline has a 4.7-star national rating and was named #1 quick lube in America by Forbes for customer service. Make the smart pick this March. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and built to win.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for Sponsored Jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit DynamicDrivesDesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We're at the beautiful baseball grounds as we get ready for the Noles to take on the Gators at 6 o'clock. Should be an outstanding baseball game. It's going to be played in the elements. It is cold and windy right now.
And even a little bit of a drizzle.
Yeah, 17-mile-an-hour wind, 33-mile-an-hour gust right now. We'll see. Maybe it'll lighten up. But,
let me just say this before you get in your headlines. Yeah. You don't even mind cold and you're cold. Imagine how cold I am.
Oh, you got it, yeah.
I mean, as wimpy as I am. I mean, can you imagine how cold I am?
It's a tough.
Just wanted to share it. Now, please continue.
It's a tough deal for sure right now. Well, let's start with the Jaguars. ESPN Field Yates did a 2-round mock draft. He has the Jaguars taking Auburn edge Kieron Crawford with the 56th pick. Would you like an edge player?
Yeah, I would. He's a little bit. Crawford's about 6'4", 260, 255. So he's not an outside linebacker / edge. He's an edge. Yeah, I would. I think they're the areas they have to address. I think are probably Hayes. I think. Well, you address everything in today's draft world, but I think the areas of most significance that those two defensive line spots are, other than will linebacker because Devin Lloyd's gone, are first and foremost. So yeah, I would expect. I would almost be surprised. Now, let's see what they do in the end of free agency at will linebacker. But assuming they don't do anything, I can almost tell you I'm never surprised at a draft. But if the first guy isn't defense, I'd be surprised. I can tell you if 56 isn't one of those spots, a defensive front seven guy in some capacity, I'd be surprised.
Yates has the Colts taking Florida defensive tackle Caleb Banks at 47.
Yeah, about 10 picks before then. Because I'm reading through that today, and I'm not that that's the draft, but I'm hoping that he had Banks to Florida. He went about 10. I mean, Banks to the Jags. I think Caleb Banks would be a good player. I really do. Now look, if you're a guy that's been hurt more than once, then that's always a question, and I get it. But I think Caleb Banks is going to be a good player.
Yates has 4 straight Ohio State players going picks 3 through 6.
I saw that.
Reese, Styles, Downs, and Tate. How did Ohio State not play for the national title?
Well, correct. Shame on them for not. But beyond that, I'll say this. Whether it's recruiting, developing, boy, Ohio State churns them out, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the receivers in the NFL, if you look at, I mean, I thought that when I read through that draft today, I thought the same thing. Guys, my goodness, they turn them out, don't they? You're right. The other side of that is, why didn't you win it? But you won it a year earlier. But boy, they churn out great players.
Yeah,
they really do.
No doubt about it. Let's get to the NFL. Tampa Bay legendary linebacker Levante David is retiring after 14 seasons with the Bucs. A 12-time captain. Key cog in that 2020 Super Bowl title run.
He's a Levante David's an interesting story. He played 14 years. He could have continued to play, but he wasn't going to fit into the Buccaneers' plans. So he made it clear, and he stood by. He said, "Listen, I'm not playing anywhere else." If the Bucs had wanted him another year, Hayes, he was going to play another year. But when the Bucs said, "Listen, you're not in our plans where we are now, but we certainly would understand if you play somewhere else," he said, "Nope." He said, "I'm either playing for the Bucs or not playing at all." So then when word got out about that presser today, everybody kind of assumed he was going to call it quits. That's one guy that was loyal to the one team. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. College football, John Summerall says he's been impressed with running back Jaden Vaugh's coachability.
Yeah, coachability and physicality. He is a warrior in the weight room. And I think one of the things he is not – the point that Summerall was making today, which is kind of cool, Hayes, is he's not entitled. Look, everybody knew how hard they worked to keep him. Everybody knows he's one of the 2 or 3. He's regarded as – we'll see if it plays out that way – regarded as one of the 2 or 3 best running backs in the country coming back. He hasn't been entitled. He's a terrifying worker in the weight room, and that hasn't changed any. And you heard that from the previous staff, and this staff seems to have acknowledged the same thing.
The QBs talked today for the first time in spring. Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones. What do you make of that competition?
You know what? I don't think anybody knows. We can guess all we want. We're not seeing it. You know the storyline. The storyline is Philo's played a little bit more. He came with Buster Faulkner. He knows the offense. He's the career passing leader in the state of Georgia, where Trevor Lawrence played. He's really good, and the sky's the limit. Only a 3-star. Sky's the limit for him. But Tramel Jones, from what I'm told, they worked from an NIL standpoint. They paid them both because they want them to have a real competition. So we could guess. If you ask me to guess, I'd guess it's going to be Philo. But the reality is, I think it's a real competition. I think it's going to be the best man wins. I think Tramel probably has a little bit of a stronger arm and is a little more athletic. I think Philo is a really smart processor. And I think my guess is you're not going to know the starter after spring. My guess is you're not going to know the starter a week in the fall, Hayes. My guess is sometime in the 3rd week of August, John Summerall will tell you who's starting the first game.
Let's get to college basketball. Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland told reporters today the school is working on a 3-year extension with Todd Golden to remain at UF. Strickland seems very confident that Todd Golden wants to remain at Florida.
I got a chuckle. I've been telling you this lately about some of the stuff I see on social. I got a chuckle out of some of the stuff I saw on social media about criticism of Golden in that last game. It's almost sometimes, if people think really good coaches can't have a bad moment, can't get one wrong, it's kind of silly. Nick Saban got a few wrong. Mike Krzyzewski got a few wrong. Sometimes you get it wrong. I would, like you and I agree on this, I'd lock him up. I'd lock him up for as long as you can lock him up. So good for them for being proactive with a great coach in Todd Golden.
What do you think's going on with Hubert Davis?
I think they're going to fire him. I think they've tried to. I think because the women have a really good team and they're having a good run, I think they've tried to keep it out of the news. What you don't want, the biggest news in Chapel Hill is the men's basketball program, and firing the coach trumps everything else going on. So I think Bubba Cunningham is quietly going about his business. He doesn't want to steal the thunder from the women's team, but I think they're either firing Hubert Davis, or I've read a couple places where he'll agree to step down and maybe still be involved in the athletic program. It's not like he's going to get hired at Wofford. You know, he's probably, when he's out, he's probably not coaching again. He was the guy that was going to coach at Carolina or not coach at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see him resign do a press conference, and wind up in development in the athletic department.
Let's get to the PGA Tour. Scotty Scheffler withdraws from the Houston Open for family reasons. It appears as if his wife Meredith is getting ready to give birth to their second child.
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler has always been a family first guy. I'll give him credit. To his credit, he's never made any bones about that. It's family first with him, and golf second, and yeah, good for him.
College baseball, Florida State tonight. We're here at the ballpark. Gators will start right-hander Russell Sandiford, while the Noles canter with lefty Cooper Whitted. Who do you like tonight?
Cooper Whitehead is, by the way, is a Sandalwood player. He played here. He was very good when he was here in Jacksonville. So it's exciting for him to be back home. I think FSU's probably got the better team, but Florida handled them last time. So they're pretty evenly matched. FSU's 18-4 overall, 5-1 in the league. Last year's game, Eric Llewellyn and I were just talking about it. One of the most dramatic finishes you'll ever see. Alex Lodies, the Florida State shortstop, hit a grand slam that completed the cycle. He hit for the cycle, hit a grand slam walk-off home run to beat your arch rival in your hometown. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and so it was a dramatic game. I think they're pretty evenly matched. I think FSU will win because Cooper Whitehead, I know more about him than Sandiford, and it's hard for me to get beyond the fact that Florida got no hit at Alabama, so they got to find their bats. Brendan Lawson's been hurt, but I think it's two really good teams. It'll be a good game.
All right, we'll get you out with today's musical note. On this date, back in 1987, Billy Joel performs at the Jacksonville Coliseum during the Bridge Tour. Joel has sold a staggering 160 million albums worldwide and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1999. This is Only the Good Die Young.
Love that song. Love this song. Love Billy. I hope Billy Joel can perform again. I know he's dealing with an illness. I've seen him a number of times, including that show. But I hope he can play again. Well done as always.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. More in a moment. 10-10 92.5 FM.
They built a true temple and locked you away. Ah, but they never told you the price that you pay for the things that you might have done. Only the good die young.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Buying a diamond should be fun, not stressful. But at some stores, the pressure can be intense, with pushy salespeople and mandatory deposits. But at Beard's Diamonds, owner John Lupo says that's not cool.
They wanted to sell them only what they had, wanted a deposit right then and there. They did not want them to shop, and we don't do business that way. It's pretty sad that you don't want the consumer to go shopping. That must mean that they're not confident in their pricing.
It's different at Beard's.
We encourage people to shop. We want you to go shopping, to know that you're getting a better deal and a better education at Beard's. We will do anything we can to make you happy without putting deposits down.
No deposits, no commission sales, no pressure, no pricing games, no corporate rule books. John's son Ben sums it up nicely. At Beard's, it's laid back and relationship driven.
There's plenty of options out there, but we're looking to go the extra mile when people want to patronize us, and it brings us great pleasure to see two lives be connected together.
Beard's Diamonds, locally owned with over 4 decades of doing business the right way. At St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Homeowners, you taking a look at your lawn yet? Let me guess, you're looking at your lawn wondering what to do after a historically cold season. Well, if you want your lawn to bounce back quick, you gotta call topdressing.com. Nobody else can do what they do, their proprietary process. I've never seen anything like it, and neither will your neighbors. They will have your lawn looking like a golf course. Nobody else can do it. They're no secret now, so get ahead of it. Call for a free estimate. Be the envy of your neighbors. Top dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open at World Golf Village, providing state-of-the-art screenings and diagnostic exams with no referral required. Same-day appointments are available. Call today or visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Repairing or replacing your roof is a pretty big investment. So when that time comes, you can trust my parents at Endless Summer Roofing. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com for a free quote. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scalers, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Our great moment today. We had great moments. It was Greg McGarity on. It was great. It's always great having Greg on. He runs the Gator Bowl. What a positive, upbeat, good man he is, and great to have the partnership with him at the radio station. I mean it very sincerely. But I'm going to give our golden moment to our two play-by-play guys. We don't get to see Jeff Cardozo and Eric Allen very much, the respective play-by-play voices of baseball at Gator in Florida and Florida State. And great having them both on. Really not talking not just about the baseball team, but about the athletic programs as well. So they did a fantastic job. We appreciate them, and that is certainly the golden moment today. Give something away in there, JJ. You're warm. You're comfortable. You got to be. You're in a good mood.
It's fantastic in here.
You got to have something. You got to have something in there to give people, don't you?
Family 4-pack to see the Sporting Jacks women play Hayes' least favorite team.
Who are they playing?
Spokane Zephyrs.
Oh God!
At Hodges Stadium. That is Saturday, March 28th. So be car number 4 right now at 641-1010.
Yes,
that's a good prize. And heckle Spokane.
The best part about that joke is I've heard it so much I still shouldn't laugh as much as I do, but it never
me
disappoints.
every time.
It does me too. It never disappoints. JJ, somebody was trying to help Hayes a little bit on Twitter. You said, can you share that with us?
They're worried about Hayes' voice, but someone
that makes 3 of us.
luckily texted in and said, seriously, the best thing for a hoarse, scratchy throat is probably cold, wet, windy weather. So Hayes should be feeling better.
Well, I'm soaking it up.
Oh, I got a text yesterday. Somebody said, hey, because Hayes has had a struggle with his voice. Hey, does Hayes know about tea, honey, and whiskey? I said, well, I don't know how much he knows about the tea and the honey. Okay. But I think he's got the whiskey part down.
Yeah, if you've got, if you're looking to put your money in something, buy stock in Jack Daniels right now.
I was just saying, I don't know how much he knows about the tea and the honey. So, interesting to talk with Eric Allen about the Florida State program. Now, Aaron, by his own admission, works for the Florida State baseball program. But it's interesting his take on the Mike Norvell stuff. Eric, he's a play-by-play voice of the team. He's not going to come and say our football coach is a disaster, and I appreciate it, and I know that. I'd be the same way, okay? But it was interesting. His vibe was that even in his position, the obvious is that, man, he's got to – this is it, man. He even acknowledged what a critical year this is for him. I got to tell you, 500. I think he doesn't make it through October. You agree with
500?
Yeah, 3-3 in October. No, I mean, 3-3 start. I don't think he makes it at the end of October.
I would agree.
Do you agree with that?
I would agree.
Yeah, I don't think he. I don't think 500 record halfway through the season I don't think he sees the end of it.
What do you think he has to do to survive? Because I don't know, 8-4 they keep him.
Yeah, it's probably. My guess is 8-4, 9-3. They probably do keep him. I'm guessing 8-4, 9-3. They probably keep him, but it would take that 7-5. I get the sense that, money notwithstanding, they're kind of looking for a reason to fire him, and so my guess would be, I'm going to guess 8-4 would be. To your point, I hear you. To your point, 8-4 would probably be where we have to figure out where it's headed. You know what I mean? 7-5, he's fired. I believe.
And it's a tough schedule.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough schedule because of who they've become.
Correct.
I mean, we said it was Florida.
Yeah.
You know, everyone keeps talking about Florida's tough schedule, Florida's tough schedule. Well, I tell you what, the schedule Florida played last year in 1996 would have been an easy schedule. In 2006 would have been an easy schedule. It's an easy, not easy is the wrong word, but it wouldn't have been looked. People wouldn't have kept making so much about the schedule. If the team was, well, that's the thing with FSU. I mean, we were going through their schedule, man. It's going to be tough. They got to go to SMU. They got to go to Pitt. Well, FSU, that would have been comical years ago, calling that a tough schedule, but it's become that. So so I mean, Eric got me thinking about it. He said all the stuff we said. They got the right guy in Link Jarrett. Link Jarrett's going to win a College World Series. I believe that. I think he's a really good coach. I think they really do like Luke Loucks. I talked to Eric about that. He said you could tell being around it. And I don't watch. I'm a Florida fan, so I watch Florida basketball way closer to FSU. I made no bones about that. But he made a good point. He said Luke wants to run and gun and lead the nation in attempted threes, and that's how they started the season. He said, but what wound up happening was they tried that. The team wasn't built for that. So he adjusted. He made the adjustment, and that's good coaching. Yeah. So they feel like their baseball's obviously built. Some of the women's sports they do very well. It's 2 or 3 softball, basketball particularly they do well. They like the fact that they think Luke Loucks is their guy. Now he's got to go do it like Todd Golden's done it, but they think they got the guy. You can see it toward the second half of this season.
Absolutely,
they made a great run, but football's been a disaster. And at one of our schools, as we know, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, I don't care. If football's a disaster,
it all feels bad.
It all feels bad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where they're
at. Yeah, and I'll be really interested in seeing the personnel and what it looks like, because I think there's a chance Florida State just looks terrible. I mean, who do they have that scares anybody in football?
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a guy here or there.
But to your point, though.
I mean, they might have the worst quarterback in the ACC.
Yeah. Well, here's the larger point there. They might have a great quarterback. They might have a great running back. They might have a great slot receiver. But nobody knows because they don't have anybody that's accomplished. Now, you know what I mean? It's not only are their existing guys not accomplished, the guys they're bringing in weren't accomplished other places. So that's the point, is you just don't know. You just don't know. You know, I think that's kind of where they are. So it'll be an interesting season to watch. No question about that. So we'll see. All right, we're almost out of time. I do want to tell you we're live here at Vystar Ballpark. Florida and Florida State get together in about 20 minutes or so. It's going to be a little bit dreary, but they're playing baseball tonight. So we hope you're on your way down here to watch the FSU and Florida get together on the diamond. We'll take a break, say hello to Rick Ballou, and wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, look at the lines for the Sweet 16 on Thursday. Purdue a 6.5-point favorite against the Texas Longhorns. That game in San Jose. The over-under at 148.5. Also in San Jose, top seed Arizona, an 8.5-point favorite over the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas plus 285 on the money line. Arizona minus 365. The over-under is 166.5. In the South region, the Houston Cougars in Houston, a 3.5-point favorite over Illinois. The Fighting Illini plus 132. Cougars minus 160. Over-under 139.5. Nebraska, a 1.5 favorite over number 9 seed Iowa, over under 132.5.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keystoprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010XL.
Are you in the doghouse or maybe have a special occasion soon? It's funny how Kuhn Flowers can take care of any situation. Max Fink here, and anytime I've needed to make her happy, I rely on Kuhn Flowers to make that happiness happen. There's only one, KuhnFlowers.com.
Frank Frangie here. If you're expecting a tax return this year, here's a smart way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. It's one of the best things you can do for your car and your safety. I've been going to Big Chief for years because they do it right every time. Put that refund to good use and hit the road with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief take care of you. That's Big Chief Tire.
Feel the rush of lighting up something truly exceptional. This Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 4 p.m., step into the ultimate cigar experience at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. Join us for an exclusive Aganorsa Leaf cigar event featuring incredible Aganorsa Leaf cigar deals, great food, and exciting prizes. Bring your friends, relax, and enjoy an unforgettable afternoon. Because at Tobacco Cove, it's more than a cigar store. It's an experience.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at Awaken180weightloss.com.
The First Coast Games is an annual team-building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now, in the gym or on the field, and now at Tokoi Creek High School and Westside Middle. Check it out, i9sports.com.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Hi, we sure thank our friends from the Nimnick family dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet is located on Caston Avenue, right there at Park. Nimnick Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. Two outstanding car dealerships, a wonderful family that certainly cares about sports in this area, man. You go to a ballpark, that Nimnick name is somewhere on the ballpark, I promise you that. So thanks to my friends at Nimnick, the Nimnick family of dealerships, the place to buy cars in Jacksonville. Gorgeous night at the ballpark tonight,
Oh,
Hayes.
yeah.
It is a beautiful night. It is, here's a real reality. It's dreary, it's cold, and it's rainy, and they're going to play 9 innings. I love it. I love it.
The mentally tougher team will win tonight. So give me FSU 5-2.
Florida beat them earlier, so this will be they play 3 times. Florida won the one in Gainesville. This will be the one here in Jacksonville, and then they'll play in Tallahassee. So Florida won, but it was in Gainesville. They're also the home team again tonight. So FSU, the road team in the first two games. Again, I said it earlier, the game last year here when Alex Lodies, who's from Jacksonville, Bartram Trail, came back home, hit for the cycle, hit a grand slam walk-off against his rival in his hometown. That's about it. There's nothing else you can do.
I mean, you can't beat that.
No, I mean,
like that will be the greatest game
they
ever play.
I mean, it checked every box possible.
Right.
It checked boxes you can't even
When
check.
he hit it out, did it like cause the lights to
I'm
explode?
telling you, it was that kind of surreal moment.
Yeah,
it really was. So a great game between Florida State and Florida. Two outstanding programs. Florida has one national title. Between them, they've been I've lost track of how many College World Series. I know Florida State's been to like 23, 24. Florida's been to 9 just with Sully here, so Florida's probably around 15 or 16. So they've been to 40. They've been to Omaha 40 some odd times between them, and I don't have the exact number, but somewhere thereabouts. So two outstanding baseball teams, and we kidded about the weather. It's a little chilly, but I will tell you, it's a great event. They sell out the tickets there, or come close to selling out almost every time. And I know Greg McGarity, our friend from the Gator Bowl, is certainly excited about that. Tomorrow on the program, we got a lot of stuff to do. And remind you, by the way, I'm looking forward to being at the farm at Okefenokee on Thursday.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of our listeners are going to be there. My wife's coming. Some of our friends are coming. So we're real excited about the great dinner and all that. But tomorrow on the program, I do want to look at different positions in the NFL draft, because it's time to start looking at the draft a little bit and how it's changed, how the drafting of certain players has changed. And we didn't get into the quarterback thing today, but I want to get back into it. Again, nothing against Ty Simpson. He's a talented, skilled guy. But if a guy that sat on the bench for 3 years at Alabama and couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe is suddenly the second best quarterback in the National Football League draft, it bears investigating what's changed in that world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the world's changed in some capacity. And again, I'm not Simpson's a fine player. I'm not, but it's what in the world, you know? I mean, and I was like guys you've watched. Luke Altmaier, who's at Ole Miss in Illinois, in my mind, way better player than Ty Simpson.
And Altmaier was 6th, 7th round guy.
And he's probably a 6th round guy. And I think in my mind, a way better player. And I think we'll have a better pro career. So, and I'm just using him off the top of my head. So it's weird where that's gone. I guess it's where that's gone.
It's a really strange quarterback class this year. And I think everybody that drafts one is basically going to be disappointed unless you're talking about that mid-late round. I could see it being you get a surprise out of this class, but I don't think Mendoza's going to be very good. I definitely don't think Simpson's going to be worthy of where he's going to be picked. And I think ultimately 3-4 years from now, it's going to be viewed as pretty much a debacle quarterback class.
And I know our friend Pete Prisco said, well, it'll be way better next year with Arch Manning and Sam Levitt. And maybe, but
it should be.
But other than Arch Manning, I still don't know that there's anybody next year that people are going to be frothing over. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Now, Arch they will, because he's all good. But so we'll see. Well, it'll be quarterbacking in the draft. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. It's interesting stuff. All right, let's say hello to our friend Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick, Florida State baseball. You've been to one or two of these in your day, I'll bet you.
It's a beautiful night for baseball, and I'm looking forward to, getting out there. Perhaps we'll see what happens over the next couple of hours. But it's been fascinating to see what's gone on over there the last several years. The fact that Jacksonville's had this matchup has been pretty cool, the home and then mix it in here. I actually remember the years they did it in Tampa as well. I think there was only a couple of years they had 4 games, but should be a lot of fun tonight, no question about it.
Rick, what's coming up on the program?
We got a lot of good stuff tonight. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes early on, actually, on baseball. As we know, it's opening night tomorrow, and just an incredible amount of what I think are brilliant young baseball players who really have an opportunity to kind of create this new wave within this game. And it seems like most of them are at shortstop. And I remember when you had Nomar, Jeter, A-Rod, Tejada. You had all those young ones, but this could be, 3 times that. You're talking about 10 to 12 young shortstops who could literally be the best player on their team, or one of the top 2 or 3 players on the team. So we got that. We got a lot of football tonight with Ryan O'Halloran. Started to get some NFL rules that could change with the owners' meetings beginning on Friday. So we're going to be jam-packed here.
All right, and Rick Ballou does a great job talking baseball. We listen. Rick, thanks, buddy.
See ya.
Appreciate it. All right, we are just, as Rick was telling us what's coming up on the program tonight, a fantastic rendition. Well, fantastic rendition of the national anthem. It was absolutely good. Absolutely fantastic. All right, Florida State and Florida, they're going to play baseball. That starts in just a minute or two. We're out of here. Rick Ballou's up next on the radio station. Be listening to him. Tomorrow we'll be back in studio. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.